Just visit the new CalgaryHerald.com with more of everything worth knowing.
Mangoes, nuts, passion fruit. Debra Fleck pairs a lot of things with chocolate. Her 11th Street shop is a haven for those with a sweet tooth. And now for meat lovers too. Debra let me watch as she prepared a batch of her double-smoked bacon chocolates.
So what we're going to do is put that image on this special sheet right here. So we're going to transfer it to that. So it's going to put the picture on here. Yeah, it's got edible ink in here. So this is a special printer I use. So what we're going to do is we have to let this dry for a little bit. So we're going to set it aside, and then we're going to fry up our bacon.
Why did you choose that?
It was a double smoked bacon, and I just thought the flavor might go really nice with the chocolate. And the milk chocolate is a special chocolate out of the Philippines. And when you get into the really high-end chocolate, you get into what's called the terroir, the flavor of the chocolate, and everything around the soil, the air, the sun, even what grows next to these cocoa groves affects the flavor of the chocolate. So I'm looking for just a fine consistency. I probably don't want it that as small as some of those pieces are, but I want it smooth enough that I can work with it in the chocolate. So this is cocoa butter. It's a white colored cocoa butter. And we're going to spray our sheets with that. So I'm using it as a backer, kind of as a background, so that the pig image will show up. It'll show up on the chocolate because the chocolate's fairly dark, and if I didn't put this white on, the pig image would just get absorbed right into the milk chocolate and you wouldn't see it. And there's different ways to do a process called tempering. So what we want to do is when we get our chocolate, we want to heat the chocolate up to about 45 degrees Celsius and melt all the fat particles. And then what we want to do is we want to shrink those fat particles. So right now I'm going to use a marble slab, and there's many different ways you can temper. I mean, you could have at home, if you're trying to do this, you could have a bowl of ice and then another dish, like a double boiler system, where you put the bowl in the ice and just stir constantly to get that quick cooling. Look how thick that is, eh? So it's really hard for me to work with that kind of stuff. So this marble slab, it's about 17. So that's nice and cool. So this will cool really quick. So what I'm going to do is I just want to mold this first, do a shell, before I add any bacon. So we're trying to just really get that emptied out. We'll do that. I'll heat this up, I think, a little bit too. I'll just put the heat gun on it, and if I set it here right, the stone's going to make it set. Let's make it a little easier to work with. We'll just pipe it in that way with a spoon. We'll smooth that off with the scraper in the end. Okay, what we're just going to do is this. You know, I'm not too concerned about contaminating the chocolate, like, you know, scraping this off and putting it back in there, because it's just going to be pretty much for doing the bacon. Okay, here we go. Again, it really doesn't matter if it mixes. Just use this one. Okay, I'll just get in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just pushing it forward just to, there. Because if you do one way once, and the other way the other way. See how he, see, even these guys are, like, that one's good. They should have all turned out like that one. So yeah, people are kind of surprised, but they tend to like it. I've done a few batches of this and they tend to like it.